Well, I'd like to welcome the next round of our YOOBIC Frontline Excellence Awards. And today I'm really very happy to congratulate Sara Cosentino, who is the store manager at Adore Me. So I'd like to have you talk a little bit about yourself and your role within Adore Me. And at the same time, the importance of, of what YOOBIC is within a typical day of your role.
I've been with the company for about, I would say 4 years now. I started as an assistant store manager and now I'm the store manager. I love what I do every day. And YOOBIC is great. It's like a one-stop tool that we're able to use on a daily basis. I wake up to YOOBIC. I get the morning messages on newsfeed. I get to see if there's any, updates for promos, visuals. So it kind of sets the energy of the day for me, and I'm able to, have an idea of how I'm going to start my day. And so I think it's really important tool to utilize. And the fact that YOOBIC is even existing is a wonderful thing. It's just, you have everything right at your fingertips. And as a store manager, it makes it much easier to lead and hold your team accountable.
What's your team's feeling about it? How often is everybody integrating with it? Have they really, attached themselves to the system and the technology?
My team definitely attached themselves. They use it more often now because, as a district, they see that, they're all aligned. So we want to make sure that we're performing the best in numbers, for our own store, but also, they want to make an impression on the district. So the fact that now everyone is all aligned and on the same page, and they see how impactful using YOOBIC is to the business, they're all, now using it. So they are fully equipped, I would say, with YOOBIC.
I'm curious to know what was your reaction to winning the award and your team as well.
My district manager, she was super excited. She called me on the phone and I was like, is this even a thing? Because usually you hear frontline workers to be nurses, doctors, policemen, and firemen. So I was like, frontline worker for retail, I was excited and definitely proud that my district manager even thought of me. I think it's a wonderful thing to recognize, the frontline workers in retail, because we're just as important and retail is a part of everybody's, daily lives. So it was definitely a proud moment and I was super excited.
So obviously one of the nice parts of this is you get a trophy. We'd love to see it.
Sure.
The camera would be great. That's wonderful. Congratulations.
Thank you.
For me, lastly, is just to get a little bit of your feeling as to, the importance to recognize, the standout frontline performers in retail, being that you're where you're working and really being at the front line of all of this, I think that it's just that more for us to know, it's important to recognize them and what's the best way to do it. And why do you think it's so important?
I think it's important because a lot of us retailers, the ones that work for retail, they feel forgotten about, I would say. I think it's wonderful that you recognized us and it just feels good because, we do work very hard. When I received the award, I said, hard work really does pay off. So it's a great thing what you guys are doing and to recognize the frontline heroes of retail.
With my background in retail and having spent a very, very large amount of my time in stores, this is such a great tool. It's certainly why I really appreciated joining YOOBIC as a senior advisor, because I remember one of the initial discussions, I said, boy, going back years ago, I just wish that I'd had this tool because, everything, as was email and phones. And so I think it was just trying to find a way to really free and liberate people, that you're not chained to the back office, shall we say, and that you can really be out on the floor using that tool in various types of communications, whether it's a smartphone or you can go on the computer or whatever. So it's very friendly and very adaptable to the environment, which is I think one of the great features of it. Could you just walk us through, I think you already did, but if there's anything you want to elaborate about how you integrate YOOBIC in your daily routine, how often?
I would say all day long. So like I said, if I wake up and I see notifications, whether it's a direct chat or a chat within the district, I'm looking at the notifications. So morning time, it gets me ready to go for the day. So we use it for promo updates, visual updates, also to see how we performed the day before, as a district, as a store. We're able to use it as a tool for learning. So just like you said, it is something that's mobile. So it's right at your fingertips. Everyone uses the cell phones nowadays. So learnings we use it for, calendar updates, I would say mostly everything, so it's throughout the day that we need it. It's just an awesome tool.
Is there one feature that you really find is your favorite on YOOBIC that you feel brings the best value to your organization?
Yes, I would say the lessons that we're able to see, the chat for, full communication, like I said, the news feed, to keep us up to date.
So here comes the big question for you, since you've been using the tool for quite some time now, I believe.
Yeah.
If you were to be in front of let's say a retail organization which isn't engaged with YOOBIC, how would you present that to them? What would you sort of put forward from your perspective as to, why they should join up with YOOBIC, and what value can it bring?
It brings a great value. You're missing out if you don't have it. It's something that I think every retailer needs, to be all aligned and in full communication and to grow with, the times and just being relatable. It's definitely something that all retailers should invest in.
This was really a privilege for me and really, really wonderful spending time with you today.
Thank you, Frank.
Thank you.